Ohaguro Bettari. I'll explain this one in easy language. From far away, smash. From up close, hard pass. From a distance, she looks like a dream bride. Flawless hair, expensive kimono, just quietly standing alone in the dark near a shrine. If your first thought is, finally, my moment, I regret to inform you, she's already onto you. Because the second you're dumb enough to get close, and let's be honest, it's always men, she turns around, revealing a horrid-looking face that's basically just a blank white dome slathered in thick makeup. No eyes, no nose. Just one giant gaping mouth packed full of pitch-black teeth. That's where her name comes from, Ohaguro Bettari, meaning nothing but blackened teeth. And if the hideous deformed face wasn't bad enough, she starts cackling like a lunatic, leaving you to stumble back. Confidence in shambles. After straight up laughing in your face, she doesn't even give you the dignity to get your shit together. She just keeps standing there, watching you with a grin on her face. Whether you run or freeze, it makes no difference. Her job's already done. However, it appears Bettari has no violent record. Just a long history of traumatized bachelors too embarrassed to admit what happened. So basically, she exists to scare men and get a good laugh. And honestly, she's doing great. Her origins, however, are unclear. Some say she's a prankster yokai. Others say she's the ghost of an ugly woman who couldn't land a husband. Either way, the only thing she's killing is your self-esteem. Survival chance? 100%. But your pride? Permanent damage. Honana. At this point, you're probably saying, great, another mommy ghost. And you're kind of right. Until you realize, I didn't put her in this lineup for fun. Honana, or Bone Woman, isn't your typical sexy spirit, because once you let her inside, you're basically getting rizzed up by a skeleton. And I'm being dead-ass right now. Because, she's dead. She sneaks into her old lover's house night after night, acting like nothing's changed. Looks like she never got the "till death do us part" memo. At first, the guy's in shock, but that quickly turns to joy, convinced his wife is somehow alive and well. That alone should have been his first red flag, so honestly, he kind of deserves what happens next. You see, there's a price. Each night, she drains a little more of his life force, until he's pale, sick, and slowly dying. It appears he's too blinded by love to notice he's getting energy drained by a smelling corpse. In his defense, even she doesn't know she's a rotting husk. That's what makes it scary. There's no evil plan, just an unstoppable romantic delusion. And the longer she decays, the hotter she somehow gets. But instead of leaving you with a boner, she leaves you with just bones. In the end, only outsiders like servants, friends, and nosy neighbors can see through the illusion and warn him. If they don't, he's got to deal with a grave mistake. Survival chance? 50%. Higher if you grow a backbone and get rid of the corpse. Sukima Onna. I used to really enjoy filling holes. Until I found one already occupied. Somewhere out there's a ghost who will squeeze into the 1-inch gap behind your dresser just to lock eyes with you at 3 a.m. Her name is Sukima Onna, also known as the Gap Lady. She's real. And she's in the goddamn walls. So, for a country where people literally apologize for existing, this ghost has never heard of manners. Or personal space, for that matter. Apparently, Gap Lady lives inside any space thin enough to slide a piece of paper through. That 2-inch void between your dresser and the wall, prime real estate. Crack in the floorboard, that's her weekend getaway. Now, you're probably wondering, what exactly does she do? Short answer, nothing. She basically just stares, forever, until your brain short-circuits. It appears that her psychological weight breaks you down until you forget how to be human. You just low-key stop leaving the house, stop eating, even stop showering. And the worst part? Once someone else sees her, she spreads like a virus. So yeah, now you've basically transferred the brain rot to your guests as well. Whatever happens next depends on the one telling the story. Some say she'll eventually drag you into another dimension. Others say she just waits you out until you go full feral and forget how to use a doorknob. Oh, and if you're thinking, I'll just seal all the gaps in my house, go ahead. Hope you've got 900 feet of tape and no plans to use your outlets ever again. Survival chance? Minus 10%. Sorry, I did not mean to leave such a long gap in between. Oops. Nando Baba. All right, we've covered the hot ones. Now it's time to introduce you to the short, ugly, balding woman who lives in your closet. So, if that's your type, you're in luck. This beauty haunts storerooms, sheds, and dusty corners no one touches, unless they're looking for a power cord from 2006. She's kind of shy and jumpy, I wonder why, and therefore prefers dark, untouched spaces. Honestly, if I had a pan like that, I'd stay hidden too. But while that horrid-looking face might already scare you to death, she's surprisingly harmless. Unless you catch her off guard. In that case, she jumps out screaming and starts chasing people around the house like her life depends on it. Luckily, she might be the only Japanese ghost you can square up against and actually win. You see, it seems like one good hit to the head with a broom is enough to disorient her and send her crawling back under the floorboards. Fun fact, though, she wasn't always some cryptid granny in your utility closet. Back in the day, she was probably a household protector spirit, one of many mini-deities assigned to different parts of the home. But once people stopped believing, she got demoted from guardian to closet gremlin. Tough break. Anyways, she doesn't want your soul. She wants your storage space. And maybe some snacks. Survival chance? 100%. Unless your broom breaks mid-battle, then it's 50-50. Taka Onna. Okay, I may have lied. This ghost isn't exactly freaky. She's just a freak. And not in a good way. At first glance, totally average. Just a mildly unfortunate-looking woman loitering outside a brothel in the red light district. Bit of a resting menace face maybe, but otherwise, normal. That is, until she starts growing. Her neck, torso, legs, everything extends until she's tall enough to peer through second-story windows like a living periscope. And before you start chanting, tall girl supremacy, try saying that while she's stretching up past your window mid-hookup, staring in deadpan, while you're just trying to have a sinful little Tuesday. No knocking, no warning. Not even a little "can I join?" Just raw, intrusive eye contact from Little Miss String Cheese. But according to legend, she wasn't always built like a cheese stick. She was once an ordinary woman. Too plain to get hired by the pleasure houses, too unattractive to marry. Her loneliness twisted into obsession, and eventually, she chose violence. And, apparently, verticality. Think, sexless revenge arc, but with stilts. And though she rarely attacks humans physically, she does enjoy scaring and harassing both men and women who frequent the pleasure districts, jealous of the physical pleasures she was never able to know in life. So yeah, since she can't seem to grow other things, she settles for being a grower herself. It's definitely giving strong, independent woman vibes. Survival chance? 100%. But next time you close the curtains, maybe check the roof too. Turbo Granny. Imagine you're speeding through a mountain tunnel at night. It's dead silent, headlights slicing through the dark. When suddenly, you're in a scene straight out of Tokyo Drift. Only you're not being challenged by some street racer. Instead, it's a grandma in sandals, running 100 kilometers per hour. She isn't even driving a car, and she's still gaining in on you. Be for real. That's Turbo Granny, yes, that's really what she's called. Fitting, though, because she's officially Japan's fastest paranormal menace. Based on the urban legend, early sightings originated from the highways of Mount Rocco before spreading across Japan. Most sightings start the same. You see her, she sees you, and suddenly the old woman is sprinting straight at your bumper like her pension depends on it. The smart ones floor it. The dumb ones slow down. If you're lucky, she disappears. If not, she's suddenly at your window, slamming into the side of your car, or tailgating you with dead eyes and zero expression. And sometimes, she doesn't stop until you crash. No one really knows who she is, but many believe she's just a legend that began as a cautionary tale about reckless driving. Honestly, with how often they keep making Fast and Furious movies, she might just be Vin Diesel's wife in Part 20 instead. Looks like someone had to bring balance to the family. Survival chance, 75%. Lower if you drive a Prius. Tengu. I'm not saying hear me out, but I kinda want to. This goofer is a crimson-faced forest demon with glowing eyes, hawk wings, and a nose so comically long it deserves its own passport. And you know that old saying, the bigger the schnoz, the bigger the, you know. Well, in this case, it's ego. Tengu has been lurking in Japanese mythology for centuries. Originally, he was a complete menace, an anti-Buddhist bird demon who'd snatch up monks, blind emperors, and yeet people into the mountains just for the drama. He hated pride in others, but ironically, he was the most prideful of all. That's the thing with Tengu. It's not the claws or teleporting that'll get you. It's the ego. In fact, "don't become a Tengu" is still a phrase in Japan, warning against arrogance. Some stories even say cocky monks would reincarnate as Tengu after death. So yeah, that long nose, not just for show. It's a symbol of vanity, delusion, and thinking you're that guy, when you're really not. Over time, though, Tengu got a bit of a rebrand. Now he's more of a mystical forest guardian, protector of sacred spaces, mentor to wandering warriors. He still has a nose for chaos, but in a slightly more helpful way. And if he looks familiar, that's because he's literally the emoji you've definitely used to call someone ugly on the internet. Inunaki Village. Finally, a scary one. No seductive ghosts. No closet gremlins. Just a whole village that wants you dead. Supposedly hidden deep in the forests of Fukuoka Prefecture, Inunaki Village is so cursed, it comes with its own welcome sign. The Japanese constitution does not apply past this point, which is definitely not something you want to read on a casual hike. The legend blew up in the early 2000s, claiming this forgotten village rejected modern society entirely. It doesn't show up on maps. Phones stop working. And if the stories are true, so do basic human rights. According to local lore, it's a place where outsiders vanish, a place patrolled by inbred, axe-wielding villagers who greet newcomers with machetes instead of manners. The only known entrance? A decaying side road near the infamous Old Inunaki Tunnel, which, fun fact, is an actual place with a very real history of murder and missing persons. One story tells of a couple from the 70s who wandered too far in. They were greeted by a crazed old man swinging a sickle like he was auditioning for the hatchet. So yeah, not really a warm welcome. And then there's the phone booth. Allegedly, it starts ringing at night. If you answer, the village starts calling you back. And it doesn't stop until you lose your mind or your pulse. Survival chance 40%, maybe higher if you bring a constitution to fight them with. All right, folks, now you know what's hiding in your walls, your closet, and possibly your love life. Sleep tight.